Welcome everyone. We will be talking everything about advanced communication skills specifically designed for coaching and mentoring. So what are the methods, what are the procedures, what are the practices when communicating as a coach or as a mentor is what we will be discussing in this presentation. So this will be a little bit longer presentation, so have faith in it. So I need to understand what is coach, discuss with you what is mentoring and communication skills, and thereby establish a role between communication skills and coaching and mentoring. So a slightly longish presentation this would be. I hope all of you will be enjoying it. So let us understand the objectives first and foremost to develop a sheer understanding about coaching and skills involved. That is what we will be requiring about here. The agenda is simple and straight. To understand how coaching can be used to share good practices, probably develop best classroom expertise, and a coaching culture in your team. So we are looking to establish the fundamental ground rules which are of a win-win solutions for the coach and the coachee, the mentor and the mentee. So basically have a proper grasp of the communication skills during coaching or mentoring as the case may. That would be the agenda or the objective of this particular presentation. So let us understand the ways of working around it. First and foremost, if you look at my pictograph that has been showed, it is as a team that we work around it. We need to individually contribute so that the team become overall productivity. Now, there is this case of taking responsibility. People, many of us might shrug it off. Many of us takes double the responsibility, and as a result, what happens is team doesn't end up becoming dysfunctional. So first and foremost thing, we need to understand that there are limitations, and we should be open to change professionally and positively. We should be focusing on improvement of our conditions, of finding solutions to our daily problems or daily issues that keeps on arising. So be punctual, and probably that is to being the bringing the best self of yourself, the best version of yourself to the workplace, and having fun at the same time. Remember, this is what we are looking into it. At the end of the day, as a coach and a mentor, as a coachee or a mentee, what we are looking is to have fun, have the best of the abilities, and enjoying self together. So let us understand, as a coach or as a mentee, why do we enter into such kind of program? First and foremost thing, there is something called expectation. Yes, I am sure that you should be aware of it. What is an expectation? Things that excites, things that challenges is what we are looking for it. Expectations. There might be hindrance, there might be hurdles which we find it difficult to cross, and that is the result when we employ a coach or a mentor, or probably when we are passionate about certain things, certain facts, and we would love to explore this, and thereby we employ the services of a coach or a mentor thereby. So let us start working in tables, in groups. We need to understand and experience what exactly is coaching. Make note what you think. Absolutely, yes. What do you think what coaching is and what coaching is not? And thereby we need to discuss the fine prints about coaching and mentoring as the case might be. So why coaching? Research shows that coaching could be the most effective way. Remember, the most effective way of developing staff, sharing knowledge, skills, and understanding to change the behavior. This is one of the things to adapt and to improve yourself. The most effective professional learning is school based, definitely yes, which is collaborative and has an impact on the classroom behavior and attainment. When we work, when we study, when we learn as a group, probably there is a peer effect that rubs in all. So that is one way to go around here. Let us understand effective comprehensive personality development or CPD. The type of CPD is probably for coaching, classroom coaching. We need to have awareness of feedbacks, the practice workshop, the modeling skills, and the exploring theory. Now, this is what we need. These are the types of skill enhancement program, knowledge acquiring issues, or knowledge acquiring programs all together. Now, how do we go about it? These are the types that needs to be employed upon it, but this cannot be done until and unless we should be aware of where we are in terms of awareness, knowledge, skills, and application. So we might be aware of certain things but do not possess knowledge. We might have possessed certain knowledge but do not have the skills to employ them. And probably we have everything in terms of awareness, knowledge, and skills therein, but we resist or we don't have enough confidence to apply them. So this is what we are looking into it. So in a classroom coaching, we'll be able to do everything, absolutely everything. In terms of exploring theories, it's just the awareness part we're looking into it. So you need to decide what is your objectives. Objectives of undergoing a coaching, undergoing a personality development, undergoing comprehensive training per se. Are you looking for awareness? Are you looking for knowledge? Are you looking for skills? Are you looking for applications thereby? So this will entail what parameters needs to be improved and what are the various coaching methods that can be come across with it. So let us understand the coaching methods. Now let us understand what are the retention rates, the memory recall factors, how confident you are all about it. Remember, when you watch this video, probably it will make an impact of 5 or 6%. I personally believe, even though I'm making this video for you people, but then your improvement goes, your confidence level begins. This was the case where your awareness levels would be aroused, probably one, or you might be clarifying certain things that might not have been clarified while reading. So reading improvises it by 10%. Now what we are doing it as an audio visual aid. This is the case when you actually see somebody talking to you, you are watching it on your slides, on your laptop, probably on your mobile, probably on Android devices or a Windows enabled devices. And that is what we are looking at it. Then, but the best thing comes in when we start getting demonstrated, when you see it with your own eyes, when you see practice it with your own eyes, or the best thing which we cannot see it, can we discuss it? The very idea of making this video is for you to enable the discussion cards. Now you can discuss it with among your peers as to what have you read, what have you seen, and how do you believe this particular video is going to doing around it. Yes, discussion will improve your ability by 50 odd percent, approximately 50% it will improve, but nothing can beat if you can practice it by on your own. That is the thing which call it practical or doing it. It's not demonstration is you're watching somebody else doing it, but doing is it doing by self. And why did I say 75% and not 100%? Because once you do, you might not attain success. You might not be able to complete the task, or you might not be proficient. You might be able to complete the task, but may not be able to be proficient. But practicing it time and again, doing it time and again over a period of time will make you the master of the retention. That is what we are looking forward to it. Remember, I personally believe that I have learned better not as a coachee or a mentee, but more as a coach or a mentor. When we teach somebody, when we coach somebody else, there is a retention rate of more than 90%. We actually are able to comprehend everything in details. Every point of views have been covered when we teach or coaching. So that is the best retention methods that I strongly believe so. So let us understand the embedding of coaching cultures. The embedding is what are the benefits that comes around it to the staff, to the students. What are the challenges around developing coaching as the case might be. Remember, coaching skills are all about building rapport, listening vehemently, questioning, encouraging or reflection, and most importantly is feedback. Now this is the feedback which we will be stressing about as far as this particular communication skills is all concerned. How do we give the feedback? You might remember the I'm talking about feedback, which is a neutral word, but feedback outcome could have been negative or positive the way you want to look into it. But nevertheless, you cannot negate building rapport or listening or questioning or reflection or encouraging anything that comes across it. That is only going to augment your feedback process altogether. So let us understand how to build rapport. Number one, excellent coaches are efficient orators. They and the coachee will build an experience of warmth and attentiveness, easy and able to relate to. This is the ability to build rapport with other people, and that is what an excellent coachee or a mentor would always be along it. Having a camaraderie, having a sense of uh, bonding with the mentee or the coachee thereby. So that is where you will infuse confidence in them, thinking as a friend, thinking of a colleague with whom you believe you have a good rapport. This probably feel like an easygoing relationship. It feels like more comfortable and enjoy conversation thereby. Now let us understand feeling rapport. Sometimes rapport comes easily from sameness, especially with the following characteristic: be it the physical appearances or clothes, body language or physical gestures, qualities of voices, language of words used, and beliefs and values. This is what we call about the rapport building steps is all about it. So if you are wearing warm or like-minded clothes, probably people are going to build up a bond with you. If you display similar body language, similar physical gestures, yes, people are warm towards your qualities of voice. It should be affirmative, but it should not be commanding or demanding in nature. It should be friendlier if possible. The language and words are very crux of a initial part of a relationship where you need to be very polite. You need to understand what the background of the person is all about it, and if you can marry it out down with your experiences in terms of your beliefs and values which can be shared around it, and that is how you build a rapport. Let me take it to you. Using the phrase, okay, I will try it, and repeat it 3 times using your voice in a different, changing it as it appears. So let me say, okay, I'll try it, or okay, I'll try it. Okay, I will try it. Now, what have been exciting to you is something the way I have said it to you. First was resign but complain, as if my voice was vociferous on a bigger, louder pitch. The second voice was of all about being excitement. Okay, I'll try it. Definitely, why not? But the thing is, the third one was an okay, I will try it. Bored and slightly irritated, as if it has been repeatedly been done and you have been corrected times and again. So resign and complain, excited, bored, and slightly. Remember, I have used a single phrase, but only the tonation part have changed it, and it came out to a different meaning every time I spoke it around. So now is the case of listening. There are 4 steps or 4 types of listening. It looks I'm listening, but I'm not really. So my mind is somewhere else. What is it all about it? It is a plastic listening or cosmetic listening that we go around it. The people will have an affinity that you have been listening to, but probably what you are doing is you just hearing them out, nothing else. And you don't have any intentions of acting upon your whatever you heard about it. Then is something called engage in conversation, and this is called conversational listening, where you're talking, giving feedback, thinking, etc., and probably making a sequence of effort, and it is in coherence with one another, coherence with the discussion that you people are having. Next is of active listening. It is all about focus in what you are saying, how you are presenting your fact, and paying attention. But then the desired requirement is deep listening. I'm totally focused on you, as on whatever question I should ask you to develop my understanding. Probably you're paraphrasing what has been said to you, and so on and so forth. So asking good question. The ability to ask good question is the key coaching skills. Question should be simple, should be purposeful, mostly open, influencing without controlling, as the case might be. So question should be simple, purposeful, mostly open, influencing without controlling. So let us understand the types of question. The types of questions is all about what we are looking at it. First, open-ended question. What does it mean? It means that we want to gather facts, figures, information, data, and so on and so forth. But then there are questions which is probing. It means to elaborate on those facts or information, on the background of those information, data, figures, and so on and so forth. Next is summarizing question, is to basically affirming whatever you've heard about it, whatever you've learned around it. Then there's a reflective question, is to explore and solve. Probably now you are putting your intelligence and probably bouncing it off, as in what else could have been done, how do you would have solved or probably reacted to a certain thing. Then comes the factual methods is to check facts. Factual question is to be very precise, come into black and white. Comparative questions are to check alternatives, and hypothetical question is to think more widely, probably in much more into theoretical spectrum altogether. These are the various types of questions that can always come forward. Let us understand the powerful question. Now, they can have a positive impact in terms of refocusing the problem, redefining the problem in the first place, so as to ascertain, come to a definitive solution. Powerful questions would help someone feel much more constructive about a situation. Tap into creativity and create options. Can make a problem feel more like a challenge or an opportunity. Create forward movement towards solution that comes around here. This is what we are looking forward to. Yes, that is what we are doing it. A powerful question posing, how do you go about it? Why did the group two go off the task and probably abandon their activity in the first place? Now, these are the posing questions that comes around it. What kind of activity would engage group two? What is it, a will issue? Is it a skill issue? Is it an attention issue? What exactly is the problem with the group number two? What do you need to do to ensure group two appropriately challenge and engage in their learning? And these are the questions that need to be probed around. These are the questions that needs to arise questions in your mind to for a particular out of box solution as to make the group number two much more engaged. So preparing for coaching practices, think of something in your professional work that you would love to look forward to, something which you are able to resolve, improve, and have a greater clarity. If you could have think about this thing, you would be understood as a better teacher or a better leader. So summarize this development, post it. Now, once you post it, once you discuss it with your audiences, you will come to know, with your participant, you will come to know uh, the sense of the reaction. One is you will have a better understanding of them, and they will also come to know you of your accomplishment. That is what's preparing for coaching practice is all about it. Let me introduce you two models to you, two coaching models to you. Stage number one is where am I now, as in what is happening to me, what is going right, going wrong. Stage number two is direction setting. Where do I want to be? That is what we are looking forward. Stage number three is action planning, as in how will I get it. So first is where am I, what am I doing, and how will I get what whatever is happening around it. So we need to understand the triads of coaching as in the first model. First is the posing question and use deep listening skills, reflecting back and summarizing as to what can be done. This is what the coach is supposed to do. Now, what does the coaching triads about coach is supposed to do? Is to respond to the question, reflect, think, find solution. And as an observer, as a third party in the process, is to watch, listen, make notes, and provide feedback on the process. Yes, that is what we are looking out here. Remember, a practice coaching is already about a burst of 1 hour kind of scenario where there are 20 minutes into each stages. Let me bifurcate this 20 minutes to for your understanding. First 10 minutes is of analysis stage as what is been done. 2 minutes is direction setting stages that goes around it, and 3 minutes goes how you will accomplish the direction as decided. After that thing is 5 minute feedback and discussion. And if you have these three sessions of 20 minutes each, you will see a marked improvement altogether. Remember, I'm giving a very concise, precise amount of time for you to improve on a smaller skill. Now, you just, if you are enabling upon a bigger scale, bigger knowledge, bigger different technology, and so on and so forth, remember, this is the ratio that needs to be maintained for your analysis, direction setting, action plan, and feedback session is concerned. Once you are doing good with this thing, everything will fall in its place. Let me discuss with you the second model of coaching. Number one, in this case, you have a problem because you want to improve certain things. Why? Because you are facing a problem, right? Let us understand. So, what is the problem? In all probabilities, there are blocks in the situation, blocks in the coaching, blocks in other. And when I say blocks, it can be a resource block, it can be a mental block, it can be a skill block, ability block, and so on and so forth. So what we are doing around here, we have to remove this block, and that is what I have done in the step number 3 before coming to step number 2. So we have a problem and we have a solutions also. So when I know I am facing certain problem, that means I am not able to reach to the desired outcome, and that is the second problem. So once first step is issued, the second step is automatically designed. But to arrive to the end result, we need to understand that what is blocking us, what is causing this difficulty, and we come to the fourth session of brainstorming action. This is another model for coaching you. Remember, conclusion wise or consideration wise, research shows that oral feedback is what we say to another person is potentially very requirement. Remember, this particular topic is known as advanced communication skills for coaching and mentoring, and I am trying to build up, integrate the communication importance, communication skills variety that can be incorporated in coaching. Remember, the most effective way of providing professional learning and development and opportunity is communication. Effective communication is giving effective feedback, is giving positive feedback even when you are putting forward negative connotations in the issues. So that is what we are looking into it. So, herein, why do we get to give feedback? Look at the judges of a reality show that comes around it. Someone is giving an 8 out of 10 scale, someone is giving 7 on a 10 scale, someone is giving 9 on a 10 scale. As a result, it becomes absolutely on an average 8. So, what is the sum purpose of giving feedback? It is ascertaining you as to what your performance is lacking or what could have been done or been improved. So if we get a feedback right, we're able to improve the learning, improve our performances, and probably become a much more efficient team. So how would it make people feel, right? Short statement to communicate why we use feedback in our schools and a team as the case might be. So giving feedback effectively is to begin with positive aspect, be specific, focus on group which can be modified, use questioning to engage with the dialogue, to have a comprehensive communication circle. Circle is wherein the sender sends the message to the receiver in turn gives a feedback to the sender. So that is what a comprehensive feedback needs to be constructively done. Always remember, always begin with positivity. Be specific. Do not beat around the bush. Always focus on the behavior and not the individual. Remember, the behavior can be modified, and we are, as a coach, we are not interested in the modification of the individual characteristics of personality. So, have a vibrant communication, have engaging dialogues with the coach and coachee. So describe rather than evaluate. Now this is where you need to understand. In the first thing we're saying where the feedback is of a particular reality show, somebody is giving you a mark. So there is somewhere in the session is being evaluated. But as a coach, do not evaluate, but probably discuss, probably describe, probably elaborate the problems of issues that you have identified. Remember, we are talking about behaviors and never been person centric. Own the feedback, make it clear that this is a feedback that belongs to your mindset and you only, and accept that fact that being a human, things can go wrong from your front also. So try to start the feedback with the headline, as in what is the punchline, good, bad, ugly, whatever you want to say. Give feedback about strength, as in what went well. Ask question to clarify understanding and engaging in a dialogue as to understand why, what was doing right and what do you think has gone wrong. As powerful questions to develop understanding. This is what we are looking forward to. Essentially we are trying to bridge the gap by having a vibrant communication, by having a pertinent communications with the coach and the coachee, and to ensure that the coachee himself or herself owns the problem, and that is the crux of an effective advanced communication skill is all about it. Make sure the person is clear as what you are saying, especially about the strength. Look together. Now this is the point where you are looking discussing the weaknesses at the criteria and decide on the judgment on the improvement point. Look, we are discussing weaknesses but the other way around by talking about what could have been done in a better fashion. And always remember, when you communicate, give some thoughts to what the feedback should say about you. That is what we are looking forward. Remember, receiving feedback is to listen to the feedback absolutely with deep listening skills. Be sure you fully understand as what has been said. In case if you do not understand, ask a question. There's nothing wrong in asking a question. It is only going to foster or encourage proper motivations and engagement between the coach and the coachee. Ask question, seek other opinions rather than relying on one sources. Can you have a second opinion? That is what second opinion would be all about it. Remember, why do people go for second or third opinion? Because it eliminates any sort of biasness that might creep in at all. So that is what we are looking into it. So ask for additional feedback if you consider important points have been covered. Respond to the question and join in a professional dialogue. Be very professional about it. Never get personal either with the coachee or with the coach. Check on the written feedback very carefully. Written feedback are very important because this can be used the other way around also. When I say other way around, in a negative connotation, decide what you will do as a result of the feedback. Because let us be one thing, being point blank, be fair. As a coach, why do you go get into coaching, or why do we go for coaching? Is to improve our own skills. Is to the fact that we have identified that we are not good at certain attributes or certain skill set that needs to be improved upon. So decide what you do with the result of the feedback. As a non-verbal feedback, let me understand the communication. It's the 7% of word becomes contentful or impactful. 38% is all your inflection is all about it. 38% is how do you put it forward, how do you present it, that takes it. No wonder you might be saying negative word for 7%, but if you put it in a much better light, better perspective, things can be undone altogether. And 55% is your body language, is your facial characteristic, is your is the way you presenting yourself, is what non-verbal communication would be going around it. So skills of paying attention, let us say solar. Solar is what we're looking into it. S for squarely, O for open, L for lean, E for eye, and R for relax. So squarely, open, lean, eye, relax. Face the person squarely. Adopt an open posture. Oh, be open, be receptive. Never have a closed postures altogether. That shows negativity. Lean slightly towards the person. Once you move towards the person, you are showing your engagement or your interest. Maintain and keep on having an eye contact. Try to be relaxed and natural, and that is what we are looking into it. So let us understand what happens before the feedback and after the feedback. Before the feedback, plan the opening statement. Give the feedback for strength. Plan the areas for improvement. Consider some question. Consider some target. Prepare to balance talking and listening. Think, what does this feedback say about me? And that is what we are looking forward to. During the feedback is match everything. What you intend to say should match with what you are saying. I am talking about your verbal and non-verbal communication. Consider the seating space, consider the environment in which the particular meeting is taking place. Encourage the coach to engage in dialogue. Negotiate target if required. Ensure clarity about strengths that we are looking into it. That is what is very important. Next is check your whether your feedback has been properly taken. If it has been properly taken in spirit, well and good. If not properly taken, whether the feedback has been understood or not. Agree what will happen as a result, and please understand the result can be going your way or either of the ways as the case may be. So before the feedback, during the feedback comes after the feedback. Now, this is where you have to give upon an agreed statement and record whatever you have said, whatever you had uttered, put into a record, because then only it will happen that you can follow it up with the set target, and disseminate findings if appropriate. Check on the agreed actions every now and then that comes around it. We should be looking to build a case for ourselves. So action planning, what do you need to put in places to promote coaching culture, and what can be the minimizations that concerns? Remember, actions is required by everyone. It is not the responsibility of coach. It is not the responsibility of coachee. Neither is it the responsibility of observer. It is everybody to put in place, everything to be taken care of. And that is what we are looking. We come to the very last slide for the day, is to understand as a coach, what are your positives? As a coach, what else can you do to improve your abilities and style? And how, what exactly you aspire to be? What type of coach that you want to be? That is the three questions that you need to understand: your strength, your communication skills, your abilities, and your objectives as a coach. What do you want to go about it? With this, I come to an end of this presentation. I hope all of you have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.